Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I want to do is talk about a concept that is quite pertinent, in particular for those who are looking to lease office space, and that is what's known as a load factor. Now, before we dive in this video, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now that you've done that, go ahead and click and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive right into this episode. So now you may be wondering, what exactly is a load factor? You may have seen it on some marketing materials for office buildings, and you're just trying to get a feel for what exactly that term means. Well, essentially, what happens typically when you're quoting space within an office building, most commercial real estate agents will quote rentable square footage. Essentially, what rentable square footage is, it's a combination of the usable square footage, which is the amount of square footage that's available to you within your walls. So imagine 1,000 square foot office space, 1,000 square feet is the usable square footage, plus a percentage or portion of the common areas. So if you could imagine an office building, not every square foot of that office building is going to be utilized by tenants, right? You're going to have hallways, you're going to have elevators, you're going to have shared bathrooms, etc. So each individual tenant within that building is going to take on a portion of those shared areas, or the operating expenses of those shared areas, as part of their rent. So that when you sum that proportion of your shared common areas and your usable square footage, or the square footage within your building, that is what your rentable square footage is, and that's what you're going to be paying your rent on typically. Now, in order to determine what the rentable square footage is based on the usable square footage, this is where the load factor comes into play. Essentially, what the load factor is used to determine the percentage of the floor space that's not usable, that's going to be allocated to a particular tenant. In order to calculate load factor, what you would typically do is you take your total rentable square feet of the building, divide it by the total usable square feet of the building, and then subtract by 1. So let's take an example. If there's an example where the total rentable square footage of the building is 220,000, you divide it by the total usable square footage of the building, which is 200,000, then subtract that by 1, you're left with a load factor of roughly 10%. So in order to determine which option is better for you when you're looking at office buildings, let's say you identify 2 office buildings that you really like, and they both have very, very, very similar characteristics. However, one building has a load factor of 5%, while the other has a load factor of 15%. The second option is going to be more expensive because you're going to have to take on more of the shared responsibility of the area that you can't even utilize within the building. And so when you're trying to make that determination, the load factor of the properties is going to impact your decision-making process when you decide to pull a trigger on a space. So hopefully you gain some value from this video. Hopefully now you have a clear understanding of what a load factor is and how you can apply it when you're looking at office properties to potentially lease. If you're looking to do that here in the Louisville area, I'd be happy to help you do that. I'm a commercial real estate agent in town. Feel free to reach out to me. My number is 502-536-7315, or you can reach me via email at Raphael@CREgroup.com. Also, if you really don't mind, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message. So again, thank you all so much, and we'll see you all next time.